Welcome back. We're going to continue working with Java's math.random and working with indices again. This time we're finally working with the ArrayList indices. And so when we're talking about indices, again, one more reminder that indices are always integer values and that they have to conform to the determinant of whatever scalar you're working with that data structure. And in the case of an ArrayList, the scalar is going to be the the scalar is going to be the dot size method on whichever ArrayList you're actually talking to. And so that's what we'll be working with. Since an ArrayList is a dynamically sized structure, anytime you're adjusting that size, you want to make sure you recalculate the value, because if you, say, for example, adjust the size by either growth or reduction, then you're going to have to actually adjust the value in that, because you might be getting an invalid value, so you don't want to carry over a previously used index. You want to make sure you always redynamically generate a value that is valid and working with that, because you don't want to have something that's going to cause an error. And that's a great thing to practice as you work through this. So let's go ahead and take a look at the code really quick. So first thing you can see, we've got our use random ArrayList indices method right here. So we have an ArrayList of string of famous computer scientists. It's a new ArrayList of type string, easy to work with. And so we have Ada Lovelace, Alan Turing, Katherine Johnson, Judy Romchick, Travis Burton, and Lisa Phillips. Those last three are famous computer scientists. They teach computer science and they are amazing. And so int random index is a cast value, again, as an int. We always have to cast as an int because otherwise we can't use it. It has to be cast. And then math.random, in this case, famous computer scientist dot size. Remember, it's dot size with parens. It's a method call, so it has parens on that. And then string random scientist is the famous computer scientist dot get. So we're going to retrieve the value, not modify it, not take out the array list or anything like that. We're not changing it. We're just retrieving the value. And then random index is now going to be reassigned to be a new random value based on that same dot size call. And then we'll say string remove scientist is famous computer scientist dot remove passing the random index. We're going to take a random one out of that structure. So we have random scientist and remove scientist, two string variables that reference possibly different values inside that array list. And then we're going to print out the random scientist and the remove scientist, and then we're going to random index and math.random dot size again. We recalculate because we've adjusted the size, so we have to recalculate for sure. And this time we're going to say the new random famous computer scientist is this. And I forgot to put the print line in there, so let's go ahead and make sure we add that to it really quick too. So we've got that random scientist that we can actually work with on there. So let's go ahead and run the code, and let's see what happens as we run through this at least a couple times so we can see the different results of that and how that happened. So a random scientist that we have is Alan Turing, and we also removed Alan Turing from the list, and this time the next random scientist is Lisa Phillips. We'll rerun that again. Ada Lovelace, Ada Lovelace. Katherine Johnson, Travis Burton, we have a different one that's removed this time, and then we have our new random of Ada Lovelace. Run that again, Travis Burton, Ada Lovelace, and Alan Turing. So you can see that because we're using random, there's no way to know which one we're going to be affected. And we have a couple examples right there where we have the same random selection and remove value because it's generating some random value. And since we only have a small set of values to start off with, there's a very high likelihood that those random values could definitely be the same. You want to make sure you practice working with math.random using large data sets because you actually see the results of that. Small data sets like this, it's not really a good example. You can see like, oh, what's the possible range of values you can see with that. But that's where you can actually definitely work with the actual structures with that. And you can do some really cool things. I hope this is a helpful way to actually using math.random, using an ArrayList and processing it based on the indices. There's some really cool stuff you can do to have better understanding of using math.random. I hope this is helpful. Cheers. See you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.